Hey guys, how are you all doing? So today, I've got a question for you. Have you ever prayed in front of a jinn? Now I know what you're thinking. How is that even possible? Jinn are paranormal entities. And honestly, I used to think the exact same thing, until I came across a story connected to one of the most mysterious places in India, Firoz Shah Kotla, a place where thousands of people still visit every single day to make wishes, to seek answers, and to bow their heads before beings they cannot even see. And this story is about a man named Matthew. Matthew came all the way from Germany, not to pray, not to believe, but to mock. He didn't respect the place. He didn't respect the traditions, and he definitely didn't respect the people who believed in them. To him, it was all superstition, but that night, inside the ruins of Firoz Shah Kotla, he learned something terrifying. Some places are not meant to be mocked. Some places carry fear, faith, and something far older than both. And if you disrespect them, sometimes they answer back. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe for more horror and mysterious stories like this. Now, let's begin. Back in the 14th century, Sultan Firoz Shah Tughlaq built the fortress known today as Firoz Shah Kotla. For centuries, people have believed that the ruins are haunted by unseen entities, spirits, and jinn that still wander through its dark corridors. Locals living nearby swear that the stories are real, but Matthew didn't believe a single word of it. You see, Matthew had spent most of his life in Germany. His mother was Punjabi, while his father was German. Because of his mother, he spoke Hindi fluently, but he had never truly explored India before. He worked for a magazine company and was traveling across India collecting material for articles and documentaries. But there was one problem. Matthew had no respect for Indian traditions. To him, culture was entertainment, belief was weakness, and faith was something people invented out of fear. After traveling through different cities, his final stop was Delhi. With a few days left before returning home, he started browsing the internet for unusual places to cover in his magazine. And that's when he found the name Firoz Shah Kotla. Curious, he asked the caretaker of the house he was staying in, "Can people still visit this place?" The caretaker nodded. "Yes, sir. Thousands of people go there. They believe their wishes come true." Matthew laughed immediately. "I don't believe in any of this." The caretaker looked at him carefully, then quietly said, "You can go there, sir, but stay within your limits." Matthew frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" The caretaker lowered his voice. "The entities that wander there, they do not forgive disrespect. People bow their heads there for a reason. If you mock them, they may not let you leave so easily." Matthew rolled his eyes and ignored the warning. The next day, he arrived at Firoz Shah Kotla. The place was crowded. People from different religions stood together, lighting candles, offering milk, whispering prayers into the darkness. The heat was unbearable. Sweat rolled down his face as he walked through the ruins with his camera. He was irritated, exhausted, and ready to leave. But then he noticed something strange. Near one of the ancient pillars was a small cave-like opening. People stood around it praying silently. Hindus, Muslims, all together. Matthew walked up to a man nearby and asked, "What's inside there?" The man replied softly, "Jinn live inside that place. People come here with wishes, and sometimes those wishes come true." Matthew burst into laughter. "That's impossible." As he laughed, he suddenly felt a cold hand touch his shoulder. He turned around instantly. No one was there. The man standing beside him stared directly into his eyes. "If you think it's fake, come back tonight." Matthew smirked. This is exactly what I expected from India. Superstition everywhere. He turned and walked away. But a few seconds later, someone whispered behind him, "Matthew, you will come tonight." He froze. Slowly, he turned around. No one was there, and then he realized something horrifying. Nobody here knew his name. Back at his room, he told the caretaker everything. The caretaker's face turned pale. Without wasting a second, he pulled out a tweeze, an amulet, and handed it to Matthew. "Wear this," he said nervously. "If they notice you, they won't leave you alone." Matthew wore it in front of him, but the moment he stepped outside, he removed it and shoved it into his pocket. Around 2 a.m., he returned to Firoz Shah Kotla. The gates were locked, but he found a broken wall nearby. A few young men stood there silently. One of them warned him, "Brother, it's better if you don't go inside tonight." Matthew replied proudly, "I'm a reporter. My job is to expose blind faith." One of the boys smiled slightly. "And what if the stories are true?" Matthew grinned. "That's excellent."